What is going on, everybody, and welcome in to this evening's stream. We are coming at you live from Brazil for season six, round 12, and our finale here in the Bunker League. Brazil becoming a bit of a league favourite here, as the lobby does go through into qualifying. Yeah, becoming a bit of a league favourite. So that means I think we like it as a final track of the season. I believe it did used to be the final track of the season back in the day. But yeah, one I think we all enjoy to race. You can always throw up some surprises as well, which is nice to see. So yeah, let's see what happens today. So it could be anyone's game today in terms of the driver standings. I'll put it up alongside myself here. Get it on the screen as of yet, but we've got rules on 1, 2, 3 total points, and LFC on 1, 2, 7 total points. So both of those drivers are trying to overtake our current championship leader, Adam, who has not raced in the last 4 or 5 weeks due to not being at home. Ash narrowly misses out on 99 points, but it could still P3 if results go as well, or go his way, sorry. Need to learn to speak. Probably need to get a drink as well. We will soldier on for the time being as we wait for our first driver to leave, and I believe that is Metal Saviour. He's usually our first car out. Yes, it is. Usually a toss-up between him and Chris being the first to leave. You won't let me off. This particular camera here. Let's get ourselves set up here, which I haven't done just yet. There we go, there we go. Now I can go off the spectator cam. Yeah, Metal Saviour leaving the pit lane on his outlap. Here he comes then. Let's see how he gets on. With his outlap. Simon Doley, appreciate the follow, buddy. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're having a good Friday. So Metal Saviour out solo here, warming the track up in Brazil. Be interesting to see when the leaders or our division leaders decide to get out on track, whether they wait and just do one run, whether they decide to go out early, do multiple runs and just try and keep improving and burn those soft tires. But Metal Saviour coming across the line to start his first lap all to himself. You'd say no pressure, but it's probably all the pressure that he could have in the Mercedes. Welcome in, Zach. Hope you're good, bud. Hope you're good. The Haas leaves the pit. That's either going to be Dom or it's going to be Torio. But let's give Metal Saviour some screen time here. Benzo's the only one on a hot lap at the moment. And that is Torio who's come out for his outlap. As long as an Alpine, that'll be, I believe, Ollie or HDL. Yeah, Ollie. There we go. It's just changed on the timing board. So Ollie coming out there. Absolutely love this track, and it's a shame. It's one of the ones that I'd love to race as well. I'd love to be on there with the boys. But we have stuck to commentary for the back end of this season. Give everybody else a chance to watch back the race. And hopefully give some viewers a bit of entertainment. I'm good as well, Zach. I'm good as well, mate. Thank you for asking. I've got a little sleepy child next to me who is listening in as well as Metal Saviour. Puts in a 1:11, which it's not a bad time, actually. I do think some of our higher end drivers are probably going to be in the 108, 109s, but it's not a bad time there for Metal Saviour. Competitive, definitely, for where he sits in the league. Next across the line will be Tario in the Haas. Let's jump on board with him as he just comes down the first DRS straight in Sector 1.
How are you feeling for today's race, Zach?
The one that you enjoy? Brazil? I quite enjoy Brazil. Or are you dreading it? Oh yeah, look at this one on board. A bit of a lock up there maybe. Potentially. From Torio, but it's not looking like a bad time at the moment. About 20 seconds to spare between him and Saviour. And that final Sector 3 time. A lot of cars coming out now. So on track we've got Baggy on in that lap, Ollie Hughes. Metal Saviour just set an even faster lap of 110. Brilliant. Good stuff from him. Torio goes to 109. I think it'll be Ollie next across the line. He's invalidated. He might be going again. Who knows? Next up we've got an Aston Martin. That's Baggy about to start a lap. So I think he's the only... Yeah, he's going to be the only driver on a proper lap here, unless Ollie's going again. Let's have a look at the ERS situation, shall we? Yeah, so Ollie might be going for another push lap, so that's not too bad for him. But let's jump on board with Baggy and get a yellow flag, and I think that's Metal Saviour. Maybe run out of fuel? Maybe running low on fuel, or just going wide to avoid another driver. Not really any drivers around, but maybe just going wide. Maybe just a bit of a mistake there from Metal Saviour. W track, yeah. I think it's a really good one to finish on. I think at the start of the cast, I think it's a very good track to finish on. High excitement. Qualifying is always good as well. You see these times being put in, but there's always room to improve, and track evolution's absolutely massive. Do we get a bit of inside knowledge here, Zach? Is there rain due? Do you have any rain due? Bit of inside knowledge for the commentary team. As Baggy pushes and pushes and pushes, and let's see what he can do. It's been a pretty tidy lap. It's looking good as he comes down the final straight here to set our next time. Oliver 110, Baggy for 110.0. So Torio sitting pretty at the moment. Who's going to be next across the line? Got Delta with an invalidation. Got LFC, who has just started a lap, I think. HDL Trappist, it's a 109.11. I wonder if he's actually been burned in the ERS or not there. Looks like LFC has been burned in ERS on his out lap. The Hammer 94 crossing the line for the first time, but in a 110. But plenty of ERS for him to play with as well. So maybe people going for 2 runs here on the same kind of stint. But yeah, we've got Brummy out on track at the moment. Delta Shadows out on track. Dom still yet to set a time, as well as LFC. We've got 3 drivers who are yet to leave the pits in Ash, Zach, and Matty Clem. But some of these drivers look like they're doing a second lap. Ollie could very well be doing a second lap, although his fuel gauge is flashing, and he'll likely be going into low fuel mode very soon. Got an Aston Martin who I think had a bit of an issue there. They managed to bring it back onto the track though. We are in the box. HDL Trap even invalidated time. Let's jump on board with Chris then. Actually, Metal Saviour being in the 110s today. I thought I'd actually been doing some practice because there's some other drivers who you'd expect to be a little bit higher. Metal Saviour currently ahead of them, which is good for him. Good for him. Let's jump on board. Delta Shadow there goes P2 with a 109.2. The Hammer 94 improves with a 109.8, and Dom also snuck in a time there with a 109.9. So a few drivers now in the 109s. I fully suspect that to be 108 by the end of this session, as Chris is about to cross the line for the first time in the session. The yellow flag is up to one there, this Jack getting driver through. This for 1-2-2. Massive improvement needed there from Chris on his first run. Looks like he hasn't used too much ERS, so maybe he just made a mistake somewhere and let off. Delta Shadows retired from the session. Can we get on board here with the Hammer 94s? His car gone off into the barrier there, I think. We might be able to get an update from Delta Shadow either in Discord or in the Twitch chat. I've got the right channel open here. Oh, okay. So intel from the paddock then. Talking to Christian Zach Horner. It looks like it will be raining during the race now. I don't know when it's going to fall. We haven't got that much intel, but there is rain on the radar for the race. So that could get a little bit spicy. As Jack coming around the final corner, looking to improve on his time. Nope. Yes, looking to improve on his time. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're going for the pit or for the finish line. And Jack looks like he really doesn't improve his time. Maybe charging the battery that time, but he's been out for a while. Jack has done a few runs. Ash, our first driver, into the 108. And I've kind of got a bit lost here. So let's see who is. Let's have a look at saying. That was saying he hit the grass. They lost a bit of traction, lost a bit of braking power on the grass there. So 109.2 is going to have to be good enough for you, sir. And a lot to do in the race as FPS Tricks comes out for his first lap. LFC comes out for the second time, but the first time round didn't actually set a time. Maybe that was invalidation or going into the pit lane. I'm not too sure. Right, who's going to be next to cross the line? Looks like a Haas of Dom, who looks like he's on a lap. Unless he put his ERS on early to start the lap. I've got 50% ERS. What's he going to do here? Okay, he's 2 seconds up on his time, so it looks like people might be making some errors early in the lap and just aborting their time. So hopefully Dom will be better on this second lap around. But I want to jump on board with LFC, our current projected leader. Got a bit of a stressful day, which we won't go into too much detail on, but let's see whether or not this race is going to cause him stress, whether it's going to be plain sailing. HDL Trappy will be right on his case. And Ash looking very solid here in Brazil today. The 108.6, our first driver in 108.6s will look to ruin his day. Let's see, LFC now going strong in Sector 2. We haven't seen any purples yet, but he is looking pretty strong. As he comes around this long winding corner up onto the pit straight. Let's see what kind of time he puts in. Looking good. 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9.5. So he puts in P4. Zach hits a 108. So that's 2 drivers down to 108s. Zach just about in there. So congratulations to you, Zach. The track that he does love. And Delta, it looks like a lot of drivers might be hitting them 108s. So you might be dropping down by that early DNF. Next across the line is the Mercedes. Is it Saviour? It is Saviour. He's up by 5 seconds, unfortunately, there. But a good attempt at improving. Then we've got an Alpine coming next. Is that going to be Ollie? Yeah, that will be Ollie next across the line on a hot lap. Let's see what kind of time he's getting here. And he goes into the pit lane. LFC. Looks like he's on an in lap. Zach is on an in lap. We've got the Haas of Dom still tearing around here. Not much ERS. Looks like he's going pretty slowly there. Up to the 1 minute mark already. So nothing exciting on track at the minute. Let's just see what the Hammer 94 is doing. Yep, this is looking like, again, another potential in-lap. So action is going to be very quiet. I'd expect the track to be quiet for the next 2 minutes or so before everybody dives back out for their final runs. As Jack here slowly makes his way into what I suspect will be the pit lane. Yes. Yes, it will. We've got CRP Brummy actually out on an out lap, so we will have at least one car going around to stick on board with. Brummy, he did improve, so he's got an 11-second improvement from his original time, the 122. Now on a 111. And the driver yet to leave the pit is Matty Clemo, who we're all used to him doing this. Coming out for one run. He'll either make it or break it. Yeah, I expect Chris will be our only car out until around about the 2:30 mark, probably. Some drivers may even leave it later than that. To get a nice, but I think 2:30 is a nice safe point, you know, in case you get held up on the pit exit. And in case you have to give way to any drivers as you go through your lap, give yourself a bit of extra time to prepare those tyres and get yourself a nice fast run-in. But you can get around here pretty quick. You can see slowest driver currently go around the track 1:11.4 on a push lap. So again, 2 minutes, two and a half minutes, ample time. But actually, we do see an Aston Martin of Baggy and a Haas of Dom Freeman coming out here to maybe try and get ahead of the pack. As well as, I think, Metal Saviour, will that be? Will that be Jack? I think we're going to be seeing Metal Saviour coming out as well. As Chris goes across the line, improves for 1:10.5. That's great for him. I'm interested here in what Dom and Baggy are going to do. Is Dom going to leave a bit of space here? Or is he going to just try and put a bit of pressure on Baggy? Maybe try and get a toe. Baggy looks like he's left. Yeah, okay. Baggy's let Dom through there. I think it's a smart move from Baggy to be honest, because Dom is a wily customer, as you can see here on this particular lap, which is just invalidated, by the way. He's going to have to try and get himself round again, because that should invalidate both his... No, it hasn't invalidated both his laps, so he's going round again here. So, Dom going around. I'll try to keep an eye on Baggy as well. Metal Saviour is a bit further back, as a lot of cars now start to leave the pit lane, and potentially they might hold up some laps here. And it's whether or not these ones that have left a little bit earlier are going to slow them down by them having to give way to one another. But we'll see what happens, as Dom still going pretty strong on this lap. So check what his sector 2 time is as he passes the point in just a couple of corners. Baggy hot on his tail though. Looks like I'm running a pretty similar lap here. I don't think Dom's pulled away. I don't think Baggy's got any closer. Dom sets the fastest sector 2 time of this qualifying session so far. And it's an 8-second sprint now to the start-finish line. What can we get? What can we get here with Dom? It is a 109.0. So, goes up. Baggy, 109.1. Again, jumps the pack a little bit. Next is an Alpha Tauri. It's Ash on an outlap. Got Tricks on an outlap. Who do we have on a lap? I think Metal Saviour is one of our drivers on the lap. Who is up by 3/10. Can he find something on the straight? He can't. Up next is a Ferrari of LFC. Matty Clem still not out of the pit lane. Is he being really brave, or is he just AFK? Because I would say you want to be out of the pit lane by now. You definitely want to be out of the pit lane by now. So Matt is going in raw here. Let me alert everybody to say that there is not a formation lap today. Okay, so who is next across the line? We've got everyone queuing up actually. Everyone looks like they're starting their final lap. We've got the Mercedes. I think the Hammer 90. No, it will be Metal Saviour crossing the line next. Let's see what he can do. Looks like it's going to be, yeah, 3/10 down again. We've then got Zach, I believe, is crossing the line next, who doesn't improve but gets a chance to start a new lap. Oh, we've got a Mercedes stops here. Hammer 94 is off the track. He should be able to join safely. Let's jump on board with LFC and see on his final attempt. Second up at the moment on his time, he just dives into the pit. So LFC potentially can win the championship today, having to start from P7. He's close to rival HDL Trappy. He's currently in P4. And he's not on track actually. Oh, is he on track? No, he is on track, sorry. Let's jump on board with him very quickly. He just set the fastest sector 2. He's looking good down this main straight. 107, 108. 108.89, so puts him down to P2 on the grid. So HCL Trappy, bit of an advantage off the start. But in Brazil, a lot can happen, particularly with the wet. You never know. LFC might have gone safe. You might be looking for a wet setup as opposed to a dry one. As Metal Saver crosses the line again, and Trix crosses the line for the final time here. And I think we only got Torio, and he's not finished it.
There we go.
There we go. What a shit quality save, Delta Shadow. Maybe for yourself. Maybe for yourself. It wasn't as exciting. I think Ash set a really good time and managed to keep that time. It wasn't too exciting towards the end. Bearing in mind I'm being a little bit quieter, so I don't make the little one up. But hey, it's going to be an interesting race. HDL Trappy, third, but can go first in the driver championship, starting from P2 on the grid. And LFC, who's our projected title winner, P7 on the grid. So a lot of work for him to do, a lot of good drivers to get past. The first one being the Hammer 94, Baggy for life, with excellent race pace, and in Brazil, excellent quality pace as well. Dom Freeman, who's back, and him and Zach will just be impossible to get past. They make their cars 2, 3, 4 cars wide at times, so it's going to be a tough one for LFC. We'll try and keep an eye on him. Hopefully it's nice and clean. As we get ready then, people's making their final changes to their setup. But Delta, you've got a lot to do. You've got a lot to do here. I'm hoping you can do it. I've had no countdown as of yet, so we're still waiting for players. People evidently being a little bit cautious here, not readying up. Waiting, getting their wet tyres on maybe, you know. Although it's looking dry to start with. Actually, it's been the longest wait, to be fair. Usually people are ready up absolutely straight away. A little bit more tentative this time. Here we go, we do get our countdown. So that we are ready to start this race. And here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go. Looked a little bit slow there at the start. LFC jumped one place straight away. Jim on board him actually going to turn 1. LFC looking good. Maybe a bit of contact there. He's gone straight round. I'm not sure who it was. There's 3 cars off there. Delta Shadow, the Hammer 94. Being those cars. But LFC was really the worst start you could have possibly imagined there. Having jumped the Hammer on the start. CRP Brummy is just as the places here. This is up into P6. There's a lot of cars behind him. So look at Matty Clemmy, what can he do to get past Torio or Chris early on? He making some early positions from being at the back of the grid. Taking it right down the inside here. There's a bit of room to Ollie on the inside. He's coming out in now with a bit of a lunge. And up at the top, Trappy has got on past FPS Trix, and I'm sure he's bearing down on Ash. HDL Trappy before any DRS is here, looking to make that move on Ash into turn 1. It's tight. They're close. They're very close. I feel like he wants to get away from Ash into clean air and just pull away. Trappy wants to get this done very early today, I think. Again, he's trying to make a move. Let's go a bit further back down the grid here. Things about to spread out a little bit more. LFC now on the back of Matty Clem. He hasn't boxed, so there wasn't damage there. Or at least it doesn't look like there was damage there. Getting very close now to Matty Clem, just 3 attempts away. Don't have DRS until the start of the next lap. It's looking good here as the Hasses switch places. And HDL Trappy very close again here. Let's see, gets a better exit. It looks like Trappy's got a good exit here against Ash. Ash leaving the outside wide open, but both drivers are up into the inside. I think Ash is running much quicker straight line speed here than Trappy, which might save him if he can handle that car through the corners. We're going to get our first bout of DRS in sector 1, and let's see how easy it is for an overtake here into, I believe, turn 4. Not too easy, not too easy. Let's drop it back down now. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid. We've got Baggy very close behind Zach. Got Matty Clem. He's been overtaken now by LFC. Having like for a bad start from him as well, as Dom gets a 3-second time penalty at the very back of the grid. Didn't see him go all the way back there, but I'm guessing he was involved in that incident towards the start of the race. Ooh, bit of a wobble there from Trix, and Baggy looking to capitalise on that. And let's just stay on board here, because I think Baggy versus Trix could be the battle. Trappy is very close to Ash. We might see that move happen. Ash leaving the inside open, but then actually moving to the outside. And they go alongside, running over into the first corner. Look like there's just enough space there. I think Ash must have backed out and allowed the move. And we just pass of Dom DNF. I did see a Mercedes off the track as well, as a safety car has been called, and this is potentially not what Trappy wanted. When you get the chance now to recharge that ERS. But I think he really wanted to get out in front and manage to pull away there from Ash. It looked like he's got the pace on him. He just couldn't get the overtake due to Ash's straight line speed. But the grid will bunch back up, and we'll have a look at the early movement here. Position changes. Here we go. So Trappy's up 1, Ash down 1. Brummie up 6 into P5, starting from, I believe it was P11. Would it have been P11? I think it was P11 he started. Torio up 3, Baggy up 1, Matty Clem up 5 from the back of the grid, Ollie up 2, and a few of the drivers were staying where they were. So LSC's recovered after a bad start. Trix have just been consistent there in P3, I believe. Although Baggy has been putting the pressure on. The rest of our drivers have dropped. So look at the tyre strategy at the moment then. We might see LFC dive into the pit early on those soft tyres. Maybe he was expecting this early safety car. If anything, it's going to bring the rain closer towards the race though. We will see the rain move a bit closer. So if it was going to hit us at the end of the race, it might now hit us, you know, halfway through the race. Depending on how long the safety car's out for. We see nobody boxing at the moment. Oh no, sorry, yeah. Matty Clem, Ollie and Delta all into the pit, and Metal Saviour all into the pit. Weird one for Ollie on the hard tyre. You would have thought he would have opted to stay out a bit longer. Makes sense for Matt going onto the hard tyre, seeing how far that tyre can get them. From memory, I think the mediums and the hards, they perform pretty similarly around this track. The softs are very quick, but they do tend to die off, which is, well, I would have thought LFC would have boxed there, unless he's going to try and just box on its next round and start from the back of the grid on the safety car restart. Delta and Saviour also opted in there for the hard tyre as well. So 4 drivers into the pits, 3 onto the hard, 1 onto the mediums. Looking for a bit of a change there in tyre strategy. Can either work for you or against you really. For Delta, it's probably a good move because of how far he's fallen back down the grid, getting that free pit stop. It can be very advantageous. Trappy following that safety car. Ash will be disappointed that he didn't still have the lead here. But he has got the option of getting a decent dive, a decent run. I'm trying to get that position back in turn 1. There won't be DRS again for another 3 laps after, or another 2 laps after the safety car has been in. So if Ash can get that move done and pull out a second, that'd be great for him. Or if he can sit in behind and stay close and then make advantage of that DRS again, that'll be good as well. But we're going to get a restart here. I would say on the end of this lap, the safety car should go in. Decent race so far for Zach, keeping position. And great start for Baggy up in P5. Gotta watch he doesn't get in the way of his teammate though. His teammate is on a bit of a mission today from P7. Got to get P1 or at least outscore HDL Trappy, who is currently in P1. So yeah, Brummy may be looking to hold up the Haas, but not wanting to hold up his teammate. And there we have the message. Safety car in this lap, and the grid will slow down and allow that safety car to go into the pits. Little save just joining the back of the grid there at the right time. And let's get on board. Let's get on board with Zach here and watch how these leaders fly off the line. Blowing it right down here, retaking his time. It looks like he's going to be faster. And there he goes. That's it, he's committed. I think Zach may have got a good run here on Ash. Oh my! Wow. That is a red flag. 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers out. We was on board with Zach. I'm not too sure if he was the issue there. I did see the contact with Ash, but we were on board. I'm unsure who was at fault, whether Zach got pushed, whether it was just Zach being a bit impatient there. But we go to a red flag. That might suit some drivers. It definitely won't suit others. And Discord is going crazy at the moment with blame. But let's see. I honestly, I don't know what's going to do to our championship. I think LFC was still in. I think Trappy was still in. But everybody in between looks like they were taken out there. After this red flag. And it's lights out and away we go for the second time. LFC. And yeah, he's a lot closer to Trappy now. And Ollie's actually up into P3, doing pretty well for himself, considering. Only 8 drivers in this now, and it's going to be points all around if you make it to the end. Trappy maintains his lead. Tario just behind. Ollie in P3. And LFC looking to gain some positions here again. The Alfa Romeos now side by side in P5 and P6. The Mercedes side by side in P7 and P8. For Brazil. Causing some issues. Causing some drama. As it always does. Trappy pulling out a really strong gap here. And LFC, I think, struggling to make his way through the pack. Maybe a little bit slower at this track than Trappy. So it could be a tough evening for him. So let's hope there's still some more drama. Not drama as in cars DNFing, but drama as in it overtakes on the track. But at the moment, Trappy really is pulling away. And it's going to be an LFC show, I think. We're going to have to see LFC get himself past Ollie, get himself past Coria, but maybe just biding his time a little bit here. You've got a yellow flag again. The Hammer 94 is off on a spin as Trappy sets a 110 fastest lap. And LFC just looks like he can't get himself going today. Ollie leaves the track, rejoins it safely, but does leave the track there momentarily. And DRS has been introduced, and LFC's got a nice run on down Ollie. Can he get in front? No, he can't. He gets touched. Whether that's LFC, whether that's Ollie cutting in, I'm not too sure. But there was contact there. I think LFC might start to get a little bit desperate soon. And Ollie's keeping his elbows out at the moment. This is our closest battle at the moment for P2 between the Haas, the Alpine and the Ferrari. And Trappy putting out 4 seconds here, so it's going to be a very tough challenge for LFC to break that barrier down. As it stands, I believe, let me just double check the standings. It stands, I think. Yeah, Rules would go ahead, or Trappy would go ahead of LFC as it stands. So let's see how things change. LFC now a good run, got the inside line on Ollie, gets ahead of Ollie. That's one position up, that's just what he needed. Now on to the next one, but we've got another incident behind, and is that the two Alfa Romeos into each other? It might have been an up and down season for the Alfa Romeo drivers, but contact with one another there. It's going to slow Delta Shadow down more than it has Matty Clem. Again, unsure who's at fault in that one. LFC now just 6/10 away from Toria, but Ollie keeping fairly close. But they've now dropped out of that DRS activation. So now 3/10 away, and DRS is open. He goes wide around the outside. He knows he's got the pace, and now it's time for LFC to absolutely charge. As I said, this might be the LFC show if we can start nailing down some time against HBL traffic. He's got 23 laps in which to do it, if the maths serves me correct. Let's see if we can make things happen here. On track at the moment, we haven't really got any close battles, other than maybe the Hammer 94 chasing down Matty Clem, but he's had a couple of spins already in this race. And we've saved a little there by the safety car and the red flag. Now, the team that everyone has changed their tyres. Let's see what we're on at the moment. Ollie Metal Savior opted for soft tyres. So we'll be boxing again this race. Matty Clem had a fresh set of hards in his pocket. So they're just 3 laps old. Maybe we could go towards the latter end of this race. Everybody else on the medium tyres. Okay, everybody here will need to box again. Matty Clem may try and stretch his tyres out, but I would say he will also have to box again, in my opinion. Jack gets DRS on Clem. He was a little bit too far back to make a move, but it's a good start. It's a good start. He is leaving Delta for dust at the moment. I don't think Delta's got any damage. Maybe some knock of confidence, needs to rebuild himself. Get a few decent laps under his belt, and look to push again a little bit later on. But Matt makes a move on Clem this time around. Nice and clean around the inside. Matty Clem leaves enough room, but I'm sure they're looking to attack back as soon as possible. And keep right on the gearbox here. pulling towards the inside there. Blocking off the angles a little bit. LFC couldn't drop in time to Trapper. They were both on the same tyre as well, so it is going to be a case of raw pace today. Potentially an undercut could be on. Although it would have to be an absolutely unbelievable pit stop from LFC and a very slow one from Trapper. And just look at that, he's the full straight away. 7 seconds down that straight, and that's how far he's back from Trapper to that LFC. As Matty Clem falls out of the DRS activation point. What happened to Ash and Dom? Dom DNF'd early, I'm not sure what he did. But then we just had a red flag due, so I was on board with Zach, but all I saw was, and I'm not trying to portion blame, was all I saw was Zach make contact with Ash's rear on the safety car restart. That flung Ash into the pit wall, and then 2 other cars behind were also involved in the incident. I couldn't see what happened to those 2 cars. I'm not sure if it maybe went into the back of Zach when I was trying to avoid or anything like that, but it called out our second red flag of the year, or of the season. Brad has put his view in, we'll watch it also. Yeah, no worries, Joe, no worries. I might pull that up towards the end of the stream, maybe. If there's another safety car, maybe we'll get it up. As Delta Shadows looking a bit slow here. I think he's struggling. He's either got damage or he's having a bit of a struggle here today. I can't see any damage to his front wing. Whether he's got some side pod or anything like that, I'm not too sure. Matty Clem chasing down the Hammer 94. Again, still our closest battle on track at the moment. The Hammer is bearing down on his teammate though. And his teammate's bearing down on Ollie as well, it seems. So around the lap 25 mark, maybe even earlier than that. No, that's 10, that's right. Maybe lap 20. We're going to see some more racing here. Matty Clem still trying to chase down. Trappy still pulling away from LFC as well. Not ideal. Not an ideal night for LFC. Been caught up twice already. Having a bad qualifying session. Yeah. Two spins already in this race. Or 2 bits of contact which just slowed him down at least. And ruined his momentum. But hitting in P2 now. And he'll be gutted if he doesn't get it today because he's had 3 or 4 weeks to wrap this title up and be crowned our division champion. But it hasn't been so far for him. And the Hammer 94 now really starting to pull away. Well, I say it's starting to pull away. Matty Clem seems to have caught him again now. But they're starting to pull towards Metal Saviour. And is that rain I've just seen? Yep, so it started to rain. So here we go then. Here we go. Is this where we get some answers to our questions in regard to LFC's pace today? We're about halfway through, or just under halfway through. Have the LFC been hiding a rapid wet setup here? And will he be able to fire himself past HDL Trappy? And when will people decide to pit, will Trappy stay out? Trappy has not stayed out, so let's jump on board and that's what LFC's decision is going to be here. Is he going to try and keep going and try and gain a bit of time? No, he goes into the pit as well. Torrio is gonna, well, he's gone very wide right, but does pull into the pit lane. LFC, the 5-second penalty in the pits. That's not going to do him any good at all. As Ollie comes through. Lesson's retired. That's a pit lane retirement for LFC. So that could be our championship wrapped up. That could be our championship wrapped up there. If Trappy makes this to the end in P1, he will be our winner. And that is not what I expected today. I expected a lot more of a fight there from LFC. Whether he saw that 5-second penalty and just thought to himself, that's it, I'm not too sure. Maybe he knows that he's not quick. And maybe his setup was not a wet setup. That's a Shadow opted to stay out there on the medium. I think that's a bad decision there. He's trying to avoid the double stack. Ollie on the inside. I'm guessing everybody's on the intermediate tyre. Let's take a quick look now. Everyone other than Delta Shadow on the intermediate tyre. But I think they're going to be bearing down Delta Shadow here. So yeah, Ollie breaking into the 10-second mark now. Matty Clem right on his back, actually. Stay on board here. Let's see if Matty Clem can find a bit of space in the wet. Find a way past Ollie. Well, 100% the RS, but he's going very wide. And now Delta jumps into the pit. Well, I think he's going to put it back at the grid again. I don't think he's going to gain much time. He probably would have gained or lost less time if he had a double stack there, but let's see. Clem still chasing down. Oreo 16 seconds from Trappy. So I think as long as he keeps the concentration without Trappy, it's going to be a GG for him. That's Clem. Maybe a slight contact there with Ollie. Clem can't seem to find a way through at the moment. I still think the best overtaking zone will be where the DRS straights are. It will be a case of burning that ERS, getting close enough to them that you can be confident, get a good exit, take your time, and then burn that ERS down the straight. Let's see what he does here. He's got still plenty to play with. But he gets a poor exit in comparison to Ollie. Ollie gets a very good exit there. What can Matty Clem do? Can he have a lunge down the inside maybe? It'd be risky here in the wet. He's eyeing it, but I don't think he is, and he gives back out there. Maybe you can get Ollie on the exit of this corner. No, Ollie, honestly, keeping it very tidy. Through there, and in the background you can see the Mercedes of the Hammer 94 getting closer and closer to this battle. We'll have another look here. No, he won't. Just biding his time there, but time is going to be of the essence with the Hammer 94 bearing down on these two drivers. And so our drivers still in this race, keep it careful. You never know what's going to happen. Even Delta towards the back of the grid here. Looks like he's got no shot, but it can be brought back into this race at any point. Matty Clem still strolling to find that way past Ollie. While looking behind him, naturally in front of him, they are both pulling away from the Hammer 94 there. That's interesting there. Jack has pulled off the pace. I wonder if his setup is purely dry. And these two might have setups that are a little bit more balanced for both conditions. I'll just imagine Ollie over the comms in Discord saying, Clem, please just stay behind me. I want this podium. Surprisingly, we've got Torio 18 seconds behind Trappy and Ollie 18 seconds behind Torio. So P2 has got just a bigger gap over P3. We're basically racing or driving this race in three different sectors here. all at the same time between P1, P2 and P3. This podium is split between 3 different sectors almost exactly at the moment, I'd say. Almost exactly. You take a little look down at that track map. As soon as we get to P, as we get to sector 1, then sector 2, sector 3 is a bit further away, but I'm just talking a lot of nonsense now, to be honest with you. Matty, Glenn and Ollie both pick up penalties along with Metal Save. Let's have a look at the penalty situation here. So we've got 2 up to 3 seconds and a 5-second penalty to contest with, which is great news for the Hammer 94, who has now rejoined this battle and is right on the back of Matty Glenn. Maybe spent a few laps of charging that ERS, ready to get involved in this battle. As Jack was very close there to Matty Clem. And sometimes when you are driving that close, it does impede you a little bit. You see Jack has to drop off quite a bit. He loses a 10th there through those corners. A big lock there from Jack, and Ollie goes wide and Matt pushes Jack to the left there as he goes wide. And Matty Clem does get an overtake. So Matt taking advantage there of Ollie going wide, adjusting, impeding Jack a little bit, but not too much. And he gets that move on Ollie eventually. Now let's see if we can hold it there. Let's see if we can encroach and get to Torrio, who's now 19 seconds down the road. Is that attainable in the laps that we've got left? We may just flick and have a look at the fastest laps in a moment, but we've got action here with the Hammer 94 still behind Ollie. And can Ollie lose 2 positions in as many laps? Or you guys will fight, but you guys will get back in front of Clem. It's all happening between these 3. This is where the excitement is. This is where the excitement is. And we have Jack, a lot of traction, and into the barrier that ended Delta Shadow's, and he's slowing down his teammate as well. He's absolutely impeded Metal Savior there, but the barrier that took Delta Shadow's qualifying pace, and oh, we've got, wait, a safety car being called out for that. This is going to actually spice things up here. We have no further DNFs. We've got a safety car for debris. You might see Metal Savior box here to get with that 5-second penalty. Let's see. And I'll be honest with you, it would be very smart to box here. I think a lot of people are pitting, but it's not showing up on our telemetry. There we go. Yeah, very smart choice, because I'll tell you what, fresh intermediates against old intermediates, they are unbelievably quick. Metal Stage will be held up by the Hammer 94, but he's not going to lose as much time as he would going all the way around again. That 5-second penalty as well to contest with, so he'll have to sit still for a moment there, rocking his native USA helmet. And out he comes then into last place, avoiding being lapped. And we'll wait for these cars to bunch up again. So chat, what have your thoughts been on this season? Those of you spectating, how have you found this season? What are your expectations for next season? Would you like to do better than what you've done? Do you think you've overachieved this season? Let's get those thoughts in the chat. Metal Savior parks it. Must have a Delta, I would have thought. Can we see the Delta here? I think the shit ones you can't race. I'll say what I say to well, plenty of the racers that join me in chat. A lot of people moan about people's race etiquette, but then don't put clips in. And they say, this person's awful, they shouldn't be in the league, they should be given warnings. But then I'm like, where's the evidence? Because there's no clips been put in. I'm not just going to kick people out because they had the incident with one person or whatever. We don't even know who it is, so I know exactly who some of the perpetrators are. But yeah, I'll try and do things fairly. Oh yeah, he's awful. He's probably the worst racer we've got. He's slow. He never crashed in 21. Which means he shouldn't be in the bunker. I have been your host, Mr. 95, and that is the end of today's podcast. Because I'm being bullied. Yeah, it did improve. The reason why, I don't know how much you know about it, but the reason why I have stopped is because we've had the little one, so I don't have enough time to commit to racing. And if something happens, it's easier for me to leave comms than it is for me to leave the steering wheel, do you know what I mean? So that's why I've taken this season. I'll probably take next season off and just do comms instead, because it's something that I think is enjoyable for the racers, particularly when there's good racing. To have somebody on comms. And hopefully I'll get back to racing the season after. We'll see. We'll see where we sit. We'll see what happens. You never know. Just new guys doing stupid laps. Yeah, as I say, like I'd like to go to 2 divisions, but the problem is attendance, and it always drops off. You know. We saw at the start of this season, we had one race where we had 22 people who were interested in racing. So to tell some of the reserves that they couldn't race. And then all of our full-time drivers just seemed to disappear. So, yeah, it's hard to keep on top of, because sometimes people just, you know, they might be working away or anything like that, but it can be frustrating when you want to try and progress the league a little bit. And that would bring stuff closer together. Our faster drivers wouldn't seem as fast, and our slower drivers wouldn't seem as slow. But it is what it is. And we always made this to be a bit more of a community league with, you know, a bit of competitiveness, a bit of seriousness, but in, you know, no one crying if they end up being taken out and 4 drivers cause a red flag. But you know, need 24 before recruiting again. I guess 23 in F1 season being kind of dead at the moment. Yeah, there is that, and it's also just a timing with other games coming out. I mean, even some of our current drivers are preferring to play like COD that's come out. Obviously, as soon as FIFA comes out, you lose quite a few people as well. So, and sometimes for people who've raced in F1 leagues for years and years and years, and some people have done 4 or 5 days a week racing in F1 leagues, it can be a bit boring after a couple of seasons of it. I'll be honest with you, at the end of my current seasons, I'll probably give up F1 other than this league. So, yeah, not that I'm bored. Well, not that I'm bored of the game, but I'm bored of some of the other leagues that I'm in. So yeah. I know, mate. It's disgusting. I think I played 3 games of Warzone, the new map, and it's awful. Oh, actually, yeah. Your pace has been really good this season, to be fair. And maybe it's tracks that are more familiar, like the tracks that are from, or that are included in Gran Turismo that have been picked. But yeah, I think it has been a good season. Genuinely, I think it has been a good season. I don't think it's been one of our best seasons in terms of competitiveness in the standings. But I think it's been one of our best seasons for watching people race. I mean, there was an incident. So a good bit of racing between you, Zach, and Matt in Miami. And I was on board of that, and I was like, whoa. I think Matt might have got a double overtake or something like that. But it was really fair across the board, which was great. As we prepare for our restart today, and let's see. I was gonna say, let's see if LFC can do anything, but he can't because he's DNF. But let's just see if anyone can ruin Trappy's race today, shall we? And keep XRL Adam as our top dog in the championship. LFC staying P3, but Torrio started early. Sorry, Trappy started early. Torrio stayed with him. Matty Clem just behind. I think the only person who lost time there might be the Hammer 94. He pulled a second, or lost a second, and Delta Shadow going side by side with him goes off the track. Will he have to get that position back? It looks like he might do. No. He just gets in front of Jack there. And can Jack make the move back? No, he can't. The two Mercedes not having the best of race today, but still having better races than some of their other drivers. As Delta Shadow takes a massive detour to give Jack a position back. Clem, Torrio, they're just all kind of, yeah, outside of a second on each other. That's how a restart works. Yep. Not you, Miami. I had a lonely. I think it's quite early on in the race, like first 7 or so laps. Can't remember, but I know there was a good battle. I'm pretty sure you was involved in it. Yeah, and everyone's falling back. Other than Torrio, actually, he's having a bit of a good battle here alongside Trappy. I wonder if that's just two mates racing and letting each other go past and trying to give each other toes to get ahead, or whether that's genuinely Torrio's got himself into the lead of this race. He's looking pretty decent down the straight, although I think Trappy has gotten closer. He looked to the inside, but he's not going to make the move there. Yeah, Matty Clem and Ollie's actually been very good pace actually since racing. I've been impressed. His pace has been really good. Keeping up here, Matty Clem, one of our more seasoned drivers. Keeping up very well with him. Metal Saviour falling back from Delta. Delta recovering well and staying on the back of the Hammer 94. Matty Clem falling back from Trappy. Yeah, see, I think the safety car restarts, from the driver's perspective, I would say they're always fine now. But I think there are people that jump the gun behind. And that's where the issues lie, which I suppose that's the aim of the safety car. You want to try and get a good run down that straight and be side by side before the check. Oh, Ollie's late, and that sends him. That sends Ollie, but Metal Saviour. Can Metal Saviour come and collect that position? I'm not sure if there's any damage there to Ollie. I don't think there was. Rating's cleaner lately, people had more patience. Yeah. It's definitely improved across the board, I would say. Because you got to remember with our league, there's a lot of inexperienced people as well when it comes to F1 and when it comes to league racing. But I mean, the first rule is just don't get in people's fucking way. Don't cause incidents, really, isn't it? But some people like to just do both of those. Oh, let's have a look at the Hammer 94 right on the gearbox of Matty Clem. Again, in the wet it can be difficult. Let's see if this is going to be a case of him following too closely, too early. He's lost 2 tenths have jumped on board, but Matty Clem had a bad exit. And Jack gets himself through. Does Matty Clem have a reply? And Delta Shadow actually has just somehow shot up. Am I being silly? Shadow has just shot up 2 spaces, and what is going on down the straight there? Oh, Delta drifts sideways. I think. No, Matty Clem drifts sideways. What on earth happened there? Is it silly season? Is that what it is? Is it silly season? Delta into P3. Honestly, I looked away for a second and Delta went from P7 to P3. I'm pretty sure. Unless I'm missing something. Ollie had a bit of a nightmare, didn't he, actually? But even still, Delta Shadow zooming his way back up the grid there. Matty Clem falling back down. I wonder if that was a bit of a You bumped me early, I'm going to bump you back between Delta and Matty Clem. Their final race as teammates, unless the wheel decides otherwise. But yeah, the racing, it's hard to say at the moment, isn't it? But the racing has generally been cleaner. I'd say the last 3 races have probably been our worst races for incidents this season. This race included. Other than the embarrassment of Baku, where only like 3 drivers finished. But yeah, recruitment is tough. And recruitment's tough, and then retention's even tougher. It's nice to have people like Delta Shadow who've come out of like nowhere, but have really like embedded themselves well into the league. That's really nice to see. Because Delta wasn't in any other leagues that we'd been in. I'm pretty sure he said this was his first proper league. So it's good to have somebody like him, and he enjoys it. And a lot of our drivers do enjoy the league and the environment that we have, where we race once a week. Doesn't really get very toxic, other than today when 4 drivers have gone out. But, you know, even still, it's light-hearted. I suppose the fast drivers prefer it because they can win all the time. Delta Shadow chasing down the Hammer 94. He did get ahead and he got overtaken. Let's see if he can pick it back up again. Does get past the Hammer 94. We're not in the best view here. Not sure if the Hammer, if he lost a bit of traction there on the exit potentially. And now we swap POVs and we watch Jack chase down Delta Shadow. So let's look at something different. Let's look at Metal Saver chasing down Ollie instead. Let's watch something different. Still a Mercedes, but it's faster than Alpine. He's got a great helmet on. But unfortunately, as we jump on board, he starts falling back from Ollie. Got to look at the penalties, because there's nothing else to look at. 3 seconds, so no one can jump at the moment based on penalties. Good. Let's see then. Can the Hammer 94 get past Delta Shadow? I'm pretty sure this is just. Well, I'm not. Honestly, I think I must be falling asleep at points during this race. We are now 3 laps to go. The only fight for the podium is between Delta Shadow and the Hammer 94. If Jack plays his cards right, he could just sit here and take an easy P3. Knowing Jack, he's going to make this hard for himself. And he's going to try and get an overtake, push too hard and spin. And end up P7. But let's see what decision he makes. As a seasoned veteran F1 driver, he's been at the bunker for every season. He's raced in leagues before us. He's raced in about 3 or 4 leagues during or at the same time as us. And let's see what he does. Whether he decides to play the penalty game or get greedy, go for the overtake, attempt to maybe try and steal a P2. The crash was all Brad's fault, to be fair. I haven't seen it yet, James. Unfortunately, I was on board with Zach. I wanted to watch how the 3 leaders got away. 2 of those 3 leaders didn't get very far. And 2 drivers behind the other 2 drivers got even less of a distance. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I'll be honest though. Yeah, you're hearing someone. I'll be honest though, from being on with Zach's POV, Zach was alongside Ash's rears, and Ash moved left slightly. Now I'm not portioning blame, just saying what I saw live in the moment the first time around. That's how it looks to me. And where Zach was on a safety car restart, I'd say he had every right to be. And there's Jack losing traction. What did we say? He's going to push it too hard. Matty Clem did box earlier, and I'm wondering if that's just the fastest lap attempt. Getting onto a fresh set of oh, he's gone on for a set of wet. I wonder if that's just making sure he makes it to the end. Maybe he had a couple of spins and he just thought, you know what, slap a set of wets on. Let's just make it to the end of this race. Everybody else just staying on the intermediates, but you never know, there could be some more DNFs in the last lap. You never know, you never know. That's the Hammer 94, still trying very hard to stay within this 3-second gap. He's now down to 1.3 seconds behind Delta Shadow after having a bit of a spin there. Haven't seen Zach's POV, to be fair. I haven't clicked it, but it will be on the VOD. So if you need Zach's POV, that will be on the VOD. Everyone else sends theirs in. As we go into our final lap, then let's jump on board the HDL Trappy. He was kept back for about 4 or 5 laps, and Ash was put in a very, very good fight, but then a couple of laps of DRS and Trappy managed to make his way through. A large incident resulting in a red flag, leaving 4 of our drivers stranded in the wet, fortunately not too far from the pit lane. That caused Ash to be out of the contention for a podium. It also ended the race with Baggy, Trix and Brummy. And Brummy was in a great position, I believe P5 at the time. So he picked up a bunch of positions off the start. But since then, Trappy's been ultimately dominant throughout. 12 seconds gap now. He had a 16-second gap before the safety car came back out. And he will cross the line today as our winner. And I believe that will put him first in the Drivers' Championships overall. We'll confirm that at the end of the stream today. Next across the line, one of our newer drivers, Torio, who's only been here since last round. Crossing the line in P2. The Hammer 94 gets to move on Delta Shadow right at the end. It looks like Delta Shadow is in low fuel mode. No, he's on off track though. Delta Shadow comes in at P4. Got Ollie coming over the line. Great race from him. Covering for half of the season for myself. So Ollie moved from comms. Oh, he's actually dropped to P6 for penalties. He actually he started off on comms for us. We've then swapped roles and he's taken over my Alpine seat, and he's done very well. He's done very well into P6 there. Metal Dave into P5. Possibly his best finish of the season. Don't quote me on that. Matty Clem will eventually cross the line on those wet tyres in P7. So the racing today was not terrific. We definitely had some surprises. Oh my word, my pedal broke at the last corner. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Pedal broke on the last corner for Delta. The good thing's their last race, Delta. How many pedals have you gone through? Was it your steering wheel last time? Steering wheel. Wow, you'll have a full setup soon. Your chair will break next season. And in fact, I think we might be able. Let's see if it's all rendered up straight away. No sessions for rendering. Don't you be stupid. Don't you be stupid. Go render last race. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's get all these stats up, man. Let's get all these stats up. I hope not. It's going to be expensive, mate. It's going to be expensive for you. Last race results. Driver standings. Team standings. Right. Everything is open. Let's take a look what will likely be our final standings, because everyone that had incidents today, whether they get penalties or not, will go over into next season. So, what do we have? End of that race, we've got Rules, fastest lap, fastest on the track, picking up 26 points overall. Torio in P2, the Hammer in P3, Delta Shadow in P4, Metal Savior P5, Ollie P6, and Matty Clem P7. We're then going to move on to the constructor standings. Alpha Tauri, 198 points, a 20-point lead, although Alfa Romeo made a fantastic final dash to the finish line, coming P2 there for Delta Shadow and Matty Clem. Ferrari in P3. Alpine, surprisingly, after I left the team, they've actually gone on leaps and bounds and managed to find a late surge up to P4 thanks to HDL Trappy, or OMG's Rules, as he was formerly known. Red Bull Honda in P5. Pretty consistent season from them. P6 Aston Martin there, Baggy's team. I can't remember who Baggy's teammate is, but again, decent season for you. Joint on points actually with Red Bull on 108. I've only just noticed that. I'm not sure. Fastest. Wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure it goes down to fastest lap. Unless it goes down, it might go down to podiums, and they've got a P2 ahead of you. Then it goes to Williams with 86 points. Mercedes with disappointing season there for the Hammer 94 of Metal Savior. Metal Savior thought this would be his constructor winning season, but the Hammer 94, as always, has let us down. Haas, a couple of chops and changes in their team lineup. Bit of poor attendance as well, leaves them in 51. And same story really for the McLaren. Poor attendance leaves them down in 50. And then finally, the moment we've been waiting for, to crown our driver champion. And it is Rules on 149 points after only racing at 7 events, 1 pole position, 2 fastest laps, a P3, a P2, a P1. That is a podium in all events other than 1 event, a pole position, and 2 fastest laps. Adam, great attempt from Adam, to be fair. He got 4 P1s and a P3. Hasn't been here for the last 4 races and has been slowly and surely caught. LFC, disappointing. He could have settled it all 3 races ago. Standards around him maybe dropped, a couple of bad qualifying sessions, and he stays in P3. And then just reading down very quickly the rest of the standings. We've got Ash P4, Delta P5, Matty Clem P6, Mr. Pickle P7, Baggy P8, Lordy P. Lordy's your teammate. There we go. Lordy P9. Lordy went to 5 events. Wow. Things could have been different if Lordy had been able to attend more events, I'm sure, but I know he's had a few things going on in life. Sean in P10. I haven't seen Sean for a while, actually. I have to check in with him. Dom P11, Zach P12, Kizza P13. Unfortunately, couldn't race today. The 2 Mercedes taking 14 and 15. In fact, that's quite a good result there for Metal Savior. That's one of his best seasons, Metal Savior, getting 30 points there. So that's well done for him. Constant improvement. OMG's Torio has raced in 2 events and has really taken advantage of those 2 events where it's been absolutely carnage in Miami and in Brazil. He's got himself a cheeky P2 today. Raven and Kai in the McLaren there, dropping down. I say poor attendance from the pair of them in 5 and 6 events. Ollie took over for myself and has now taken me off the leaderboard in P19, and then Chris brings it up in P20. There'll be one driver that's missing off here. Who can spot that driver? It's the other. I think it's the other Alpha Tauri. So I will be 2 drivers missing off this sheet. An Alpha Tauri and somebody else. Nico, maybe? I don't know. We'll get one without the reserves anyway, as a list for you all. But yeah, that has been our season then. We don't have a next round. We just have this round. As always, The VOD will be up on Twitch for the next 7 days. If you do want to find any clips of incidents, you can feel free to try and find them through the Twitch channel. And they'll be live up on YouTube tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time. What are we on? GMT? BST? I don't know what we are. But yeah, it'll be up on YouTube live tomorrow at 2 p.m. New season. We haven't got a start date just yet, but keep your eyes on the Discord, keep your eyes on Instagram for updates on that. And we will see you all in season 7. Appreciate everyone that's raced for us this season, everyone that's tuned in. And as I say, we'll catch you in the next one.